So here we are, episode 18. We're facing Umbra and Lumis. In every game that features them, it's always both characters, because I guess they do the double battle against Yugi and Kaiba at the same time. But as you can see, it's just one computer AI. We get to go first here. Spear Dragon is a pretty good bet. 1900 is pretty strong. And since we don't have to attack into anything, it doesn't go into defense position. So it's basically a 19 wall. Let's set Mirror Force in case they do have something crazy. Raigeki is unfortunate. Especially since they're setting a monster, we could have pierced that. We could tribute summon for Jinzo here. We could also cross out. I don't really know what kind of monsters that they had. The one game that we played while they were in that Ghouls RNG was just a bunch of vanillas, so I don't think cross out will do a whole lot. Change of Hearts for Jinzo is pretty much our best bet here since they do have a face down. More than likely it's a trap card to stop us. It's a Magician of Faith. We're gonna go ahead and flip this up right away. Let's go ahead and grab back our Change of Hearts. Thank you, I appreciate it. Also, cross out on Magician of Faith would have screwed us over by 2 cards. Really glad I didn't do that now. This does render our Mirror Force innate, but 2400 is going to be really hard to attack over, especially since they don't have any tribute fodders. They could always like Mask of Brutality something to attack over it. They are the mask users. Monster Reborn is alright. This will give them a tribute fodder. Or they're just using it as a... Nope, they're tributing it off. Summon Skull does beat us by 100, which is unfortunate. This does make our Mirror Force live. A part of me wants to just like set a La Jin pass, and then on their turn, once they attack, we can Mirror Force them. Hopefully we can get a 2-for-1 trade for it. Vorse Raider is scary. Hopefully they don't have any way to stop Mirror Force here. I'm still a little worried about their face down. It could be like a trap hole or their own Mirror Force. Hopefully we can get Extermination here. Delinquent Duo is also alright. They do have exactly 2 cards in hand. We'll pay the 1,000 here. This puts them on a top decking strategy, which should be enough. Ooh, is that Mass Beast? Okay, they are running Mass Beast. Mask of Brutality plus Vorse Raider would have been enough to attack over our Jinzo as well. So it's good to know that they are running those cards. Let's go ahead and flip La Jin here. Ring of Destruction does deal damage to both of us, so it's not the worst. Plus, we still have our normal summon. Let's go ahead and do Harpy's Brother here. It has less defense. That's the only reason why. We do have lethal next turn. We have another beater in our hand. That could be something, that could be nothing. We've seen Ring of Destruction. Maybe they're running a second one. I'm a little hesitant to to attack with more than one character. We do have Change of Hearts here, so if they do ever summon a monster, we can just take it and attack. Let's just attack with one. Let's see what happens. Mask of Weakness. Okay, so they don't lose here. We can just summon a monster for next turn. It's one of those darned if you do, darned if you don't situations, because if that was a Mirror Force or like Magical Cylinder, we wouldn't have won anyways. Dark Hole's annoying. I believe we do still have one more monster in our hand. Yeah, the Lajin. Darkfire Soldier. We win here, regardless. A second Dark Ruler Hades is not really that useful. Exiled Force! Exiled Force is crazy! We basically summon this onto the field and then sack it in order to destroy one of their monsters. That might be worth putting in, honestly. It's not that good as a beater, but as a one-for-one trade, it does use up our normal summon, which is a little annoying, but... Oh, that's the other thing. I guess I didn't do a profile at the beginning of this episode, so let me just do that now. So the deck has changed quite a bit. On our top end, we have Dark Ruler Hades and Jinzo. These are our only two tribute summon monsters. I don't really want to put a third one, just because we might end up breaking on tribute summons, but Hades has the ability, while on the field, for any Fiend-type monsters, when destroying an opponent's monster with them, to negate the effects of those destroyed opponent's monsters. So, what essentially that means, if Hades attacks into something like a Man-Eater Bug, Penguin Soldier, Witch of the Black Forest, Mystic Tomato, any sort of those types of monsters, their effects are completely negated, which essentially locks out 1/3 of every single monster in the game. Or I guess half of all the monsters in the game that would have effects. The other half are just vanillas that 2450 should be able to attack over. Which is why it's really good to be putting in the deck. Jinzo just negates all trap cards while it's face up on the field. Force Raider is a 1900 beater, and one of the reasons why we will keep going back into the Dark Ruler Hades pack. We would love to have 3 of these. Spear Dragon is another reason to go back into the Hades pack. 1900 beater. If we can have this along with another monster on the field, it'll trick the opponent AI to just never attack this, because the downside of Spear Dragon is that it goes into defense mode after it attacks, but it does have piercing, so anytime our opponent just sets a monster and passes, we can deal some sort of chip damage to it, assuming Spear Dragon is able to attack over it. Lajin is an 1800 beater. I do remember which pack this came from. I believe it was the Black Skull Dragon pack. It is also a Fiend type, so if we can combo this with Lajin, it doesn't matter what monster our opponent sets. It could be like a 4-star Ladybug of Doom. Because of Hades on the field, this will also negate it if destroyed by battle. Dark Zebra I would love to get rid of. It's an 18 beater with a huge downside, but unfortunately we don't really have much in terms of options right now. Harpy's Brother is an 18 beater. Would have been great to have another Fiend type. I believe this one came from the Jinzo pack, so if we have time, I'd love to go in there and grab a third copy. Opticlops is also from the Hades pack, and it's also a Fiend type. So just like Lajin, having Hades, this, and Lajin on the field would be like our perfect board. We could just attack into anything and negate its effect if it does have one. Darkfire Soldier, gonna get replaced sooner or later if we get more copies of Opticlops. or Vorse Raider or any of our other 1800 beaters. As for utility monsters, Witch of the Black Forest essentially lets us search any monster in our deck except for Opticlops, who has 1700 defense, and Hades, who has 1600 defense. Sangan lets us search for any of our utility monsters, such as Witch of the Black Forest, Penguin Soldier, and our 2 copies of Magician of Faith. Penguin Soldier is a 2-for-1 trade for most of the time. It's an amazing card. Gets us out of really tough situations, especially if the opponent has a tribute summon monster or a ritual fusion on the field, since they would have to perform the ritual or fusion all over again in order to put it back on the field. Magician of Faith, we're running a lot of one-off spell cards, so being able to flip this and like recycle those cards is just amazing. I would love to have a 3rd copy of this. I don't remember which pack this came from. I might have to review old videos or just look it up on the internet, but a 3rd copy of this would be amazing. Speaking about 1 copy of like really strong spell cards, we have Harpy's Feather Duster. This lets us destroy our opponent's back row for free. Pot of Greed lets us draw 2 cards. I would love to run the 2nd copy, like that Rare Hunter that runs the Exodia deck, but unfortunately it's limited to 1. Change of Hearts lets us steal our opponent's monster for a turn. We could use this to either do lethal or use their monster as tribute summon for either Jinzo or Dark Ruler Hades. Heavy Storm destroys both players' back row, but obviously we're never going to use this to destroy our own. We're always going to use this when either we have 1 or less in our back row and our opponent has 2 or more, which basically makes it a 2nd copy of Harpy's Feather Duster if used properly. Upstart Goblin lets us give our opponent 1000 health in order for us to draw 1 card. The card advantage is always worth more than the health that we quote-unquote lose from the exchange. Delinquent Duo, pay 1000, rip 2 cards off of our opponent's hand. It's amazing card advantage. I love having this card and being able to play it because it has been banned for like the longest time. Forceful Sentry lets us look at our opponent's hand and choose 1 card to shuffle back into their deck. Being able to know what our opponent's plays are is incredibly good in any sort of TCG. 2 Noblemen of Crossout. Our biggest issue is face down flip monsters, as well as just, I guess, face down in general. Because we are running a beater type deck, our opponent will be more than likely setting a card since they can't attack over what we play. Crossout just lets us get rid of it. I believe it will be a better version than Tribute to the Doomed, just because we don't have to discard anything in order to activate this. Nobleman of Extermination. This has basically replaced Mystical Space Typhoon. Extermination lets us do the same thing except for back row as Crossout. As long as it's face down, we can target it. It gets destroyed and banished. The best thing about these 2 cards though is that if our opponent has multiple copies of that in their deck, those cards also get destroyed. So if we go back and fight Weevil and we cross out like Man-Eater Bug, it'll banish 3 copies of Man-Eater Bug, assuming the other 2 copies are still in their deck. Extermination, same thing. If we cross out like a Trap Hole and our opponent is running 3 copies, we don't have to worry about those 3 copies anymore. Really good cards. Premature Burial is that 1 copy. We pay 800, resurrect back a card from the graveyard. It can only be our graveyard. Plus, this has to be attached to that monster, so if this equip spell gets destroyed, that monster also gets destroyed. It's unfortunate, but being able to recycle monsters is always great. United We Stand gives the monster that it's attached to 800 attack for every face-up monster we have on the field. So, as a beater type deck, this is essential to make our beat sticks just even bigger. Mage Power gives the card that it's attached to 500 attack for every spell and trap card on our side of the field. So it's like United We Stand, but like back row. Also useful for a beater type deck. For trap cards, we're not running that many just because of Jinzo and 1 other trap card that we're going to get into in a moment. Solemn Judgment is a counter trap, which is like one of the highest tiered trap cards in the game. It's going to be incredibly hard to respond to, and it can just negate anything that our opponent plays. So like a Dark Hole, a Tribute Summon to a Summon Skull, a Mirror Force, we can just say no pay half our life, don't worry about it. For the most part, like, paying half our life is better than losing like 3 monsters to a dark hole. So that's why this is in our deck. Royal Decree is the other reason why we're running very few trap cards. As long as this card is face up on the field, negate the effects of all trap cards, which does include our own. Mirror Force, our opponent attack us, every attacking monster that they have gets destroyed. Was just used on that first game. I love getting 2-for-1 trades for this or more. Imperial Order is like Royal Decree, except for spell cards. It just turns off 1/3 of every single card in the game. We do have to pay 700 life points during our standby phase in order to keep it face up. But that's actually a good thing, because when it becomes our turn and we want to play spell cards, we just say no to the upkeep cost. It gets destroyed, and then we're able to play stuff like Pot of Greed. And since we're playing so many spell cards, we really need to balance on how long this stays face up on the field and when to turn it off so we can start playing our power spells. Call of the Haunted is just like Premature Burial, except instead of paying 800 life, we pay waiting a turn, essentially, or a half a turn. This becomes useful on our usable. It becomes usable on our opponent's turn, so if they try to attack with like a 15 beater, we can bring back something like a Force Raider and stop their attacks, which is actually pretty nice. Torrential Tribute is another 2-for-1 trade card. If we're lacking on board presence, so like we have 1 or fewer monsters, and our opponent normal summons a card, we can just Torrential Tribute and wipe the entire board, which is really useful from time to time. So yeah, that's the deck. It's been cut down to 40 cards. I want to put Nobleman of Extermination, or not Nobleman of Extermination, Exile Force in here, but that would mean we would have to cut away something. And right now we have a pretty good balance. Maybe in the future, if we end up fighting something incredibly annoying, I'll figure out a way to fit it in the deck. But as of right now, this deck is pretty balanced. We've got a good amount of beaters, so that our starting hands will always have something like a Lajin in order to slam down, and a good amount of spell cards too. We can summon Darkfire Soldier here. They do run removal spells. Them wasting a Dark Hole on this is like not the worst. It's better if this dies than Force Raider. We're gonna Forceful Sentry here. We should have done this first. Let's see what we're playing against. Magician of Faith can be annoying. Curse the Mass Beast is a ritual spell. Ring of Destruction might be what we put away. Raigeki and a Vorse Raider, they have their own Vorse Raider. So if we put away Vorse Raider here, they're more than likely going to use Raigeki to get rid of our monster. Put down the Ring of Destruction and then set the Magician of Faith. Curse of the Mass Beast, we really don't care about. There's no way to check our hand again, which is a little annoying. But I feel like Vorse Raider, getting rid of this is like the best play right now. We do have Noblemen of Extermination, so we can absolutely get rid of their Ring of Destruction once they set it. Unfortunately, it will be usable once we do activate it, so it might not work. Upstart Goblin lets us dig through our deck. The 1000 health that our opponent get doesn't matter. We can do a pretty fun play here. They're gonna Raigeki on their turn, set the Ring of Destruction, probably set the Magician of Faith. We can go ahead and Nobleman of Extermination their Ring of Destruction, and then Call of the Haunted back our Darkfire Soldier, tribute it off for Jinzo on our next turn, and that should just turn off all of their trap cards. I like that idea. Unfortunately, we will still have to deal with the Magician of Faith, so they will probably get back their Raigeki, which is annoying. Unless we can somehow, like, top deck Change of Hearts. So they're setting 2. We know what one of them is. That's absolutely Magician of Faith. We know the last card in their hand is probably the Ritual spell. La Jin is fine and all. I wish this was Hades, which is a little annoying. We can go ahead and exterminate here. Let's see what we get. It's the Ring of Destruction. This could be a third copy of Ring of Destruction, honestly. We can summon La Jin here. This was gonna happen either way. So let's go ahead and attack their Magician of Faith. They do get Raigeki back, but they're gonna blow up our La Jin with it. Mask of Weakness isn't gonna do anything. Magician Faith has like paper thin defenses. They just wasted that, which is also great. Like, I don't mind them wasting trap cards. They're gonna Raigeki here, but that's fine. We can still call it a Haunted on our next turn, and then Tribute Summon for Jinzo. Hopefully they didn't draw into a monster. Their monster reborning Darkfire Soldier. We can actually negate this because of how the chain will resolve. We get our Darkfire Soldier and they don't get to reborn anything, because the Darkfire Soldier will be on our field instead of our graveyard. So then we know the last unknown in their hand is the Ritual spell for Mass Beast. I don't think we're gonna Tribute Summon Jinzo here. We're just gonna attack for all the damage. There's no reason to set Torrential Tribute right now, unless we want to get asked a million times if we want to activate it. We're in a good position. We're in a very good position. If they do set a monster, we can Tribute Summon for Jinzo. Or if they set a spell trap, we can Tribute Summon for Jinzo and just negate it. Slate Warrior is annoying. It's probably going to attack over our 17 beater, which means we will have to crash with Force Raider. Nobleman across Sada is alright. We could also Tribute Summon for Jinzo. It will go down to 1900 after defeating Slate Warrior, but it does keep a monster on the board. We could also just not attack. They would put the Slate Warrior in defense mode. And then if we draw into like a Darkfire Soldier, then we could attack over it. But I feel like clearing the board is a better play here. They might run into the Ritual monster if we stall too long, and then like get out Mass Beast, and that's something that we're gonna have a very hard time to defeat. It's got like 3250 attack or something. Dark Hole's annoying. I think we'll set the Torrential Tribute now, since it's Delinquent Duo. That's not really going to do much. They only have one card in their hand. Let's set Torrential. Maybe we can still get a 2-for-1 trade here, not activate it right away. I'm tempted to Delinquent Duo those two cards in their hand. We know one of them is the Ritual spell. The other one could be the Ritual monster. Summon Skull. It was a Summon Skull. They're all running Summon Skull. I thought that was a Yugi card. It's weird seeing everybody else use it. Sangan Beatdown is a little small, but it's what we have. Also, it's great if we can Torrential Tribute our Sangan. That lets us search out something better. Witch of the Black Forest has 100 more attack. Magician of Faith can let us recycle our spell traps, or just our spells. That could be a Magician of Faith. Heavy Storm's not going to do anything right now. We can cross out. If it is Magician of Faith, it's going to suck to get rid of our 2 copies, but... Oh, Mass Sorcerer. What does that do? Or is it just a masked card? It can attack directly for... Wait, no. If you inflict damage to your opponent's life. Okay, so it's a 900 beater that if it inflicts damage to the opponent, you draw a card. Plus it also has mask in the name, I guess. I mean, I guess you don't have to attack directly with it. It did have 400 defense. 1400 defense. So if we attack with it, if we attack Sangan with it, we would have just, we would have lost 400 and then they would have drawn a card. Magician of Faith here is alright. We do have quite a few cards in the graveyard. Upstart Goblin would be our best bet to recycle. If this is a Mirror Force, I'm okay with that. Again, we can search our cards with Sangan. More than happy with that trade. We're gonna go ahead and grab... Oh, which should the... Oh, wait, no, it's right here. We'll summon this next turn, start dealing 1100 to our opponent with it. Assuming they don't summon anything. They get a Vorse Raider out. There's really not a whole lot that we can grab with Magician of Faith that can deal with a Vorse Raider right now. I think we just sack our Magician of Faith and Torrential here. Imperial Order is a little late. We'll still set it. They might like top deck. They might top deck into like a Pot of Greed or something. We don't fully know what's inside our opponent's deck. Two more turns with just Witch of the Black Forest and our opponent loses. If we can top deck one of our beaters, that'd be great. They beat us by 50, are you kidding me? That's so annoying. But this does let us search our deck. Unfortunately, there's nothing that we can grab that could end them next turn. But we can still grab something good. Vorse Raider seems to be our best beater right now. Mirror Force is fine. We're not going to end the game here, so having a backup plan if they do pull something crazy would be nice. Hopefully they just draw into nothing and we can win. This has been dragging out for too long. I'm not even like scared or anything. We have such a very high Oh, you're so annoying. We do have Mirror Force. If they do crash, we'll just Mirror Force. Okay, they're not that crazy. But if we get another monster here, that's not enough. There's no reason to. Like, we crash and then what? Nothing. We can't even win yet. It's better if they try to attack. Hopefully that's a summoned skull they can tribute summon and we can mirror force. Monster Reborn a summoned skull? Monster Reborn Jinzo. We cannot let that happen. They're still not gonna attack. Which is the smart play. We're basically staring at each other menacingly. Cross out doesn't help us that much. We will pay for this. We have all the health in the world. We just need another monster. As soon as we can crash with our Vorse Raider. That's annoying. As soon as we can crash with our Vorse Raider, they're toast. Pre-mat is enough. Pre-mat is absolutely enough. We're gonna go ahead and not pay for this, so we can start using our spell cards. Cross out their face down. Magician of Faith. There goes our copy, but it's well worth it. Oop. Where is... There we go. It doesn't have to be Jinzo. Any of our monsters would have done it, except for maybe Sangan. But since they tried to Monster Reborn our card, it just seems fitting that we end with it. We don't even have to crash here. Jinzo can easily attack over their Vorse Raider. That was a lot longer than it needed to be. Nothing. That's a level 6 19 beater. Another level 6 19 beater and a level 6 2000 beater. That was only game 2, which is annoying. I hate when a game drags out that long. They do get to go first this time. Mass Sorcerer isn't that threatening, especially without any back road to protect it. So our spells aren't that useful right now. I kind of want to go Darkfire Soldier, because they could have their power spells like Dark Hole in their hand. It's better that they destroy this and not one of our Vorse Raiders. They do have their own Vorse Raider, which is annoying. So we can summon our own Vorse Raider and just stare at each other again until something changes. The Liquid Duo is nice. Pay 1,000 to get some card advantage. Let's see what we got rid of. Magician of Faith and a pre-mat. We can only hope that they don't have Raigeki here. In defense mode? Do they have a tribute summon? They're bringing back a lot of cards. Also, 2 copies of Monster Reborn, really? Another Vorse Raider? They could crash and then 19 to the face. No, they still won't do that. Even though they have like the monster advantage, they could have easily just sacrificed one of their Vorse Raiders to attack a lot directly. So one thing we could do is summon our other Vorse Raider and just knock out two of their defense monsters. Maybe next turn we can suicide with both Vorse Raiders to their two Vorse Raiders, and then premature burial our Vorse Raider in main phase 2. Dark Hole wipes the entire field. I'm okay with that. So I'm assuming their last card is probably like the ritual spell for Mass Beast. Magician of Faith right now isn't that great. We just bring back Delinquent Duo and they only have one card in hand. We're gonna pre-mat Vorse Raider. Normal summon the Darkfire Soldier and then just get in for a lot of damage. Next turn, if they don't play anything, they're dead. We should have exact lethal. Even more so if we summon Sangan. They're gonna pre-mat their own Vorse Raider, I'm assuming. Yeah. So then we're back to staring contest. Unfortunate. We could suicide and Sangan for face. Or Witch of the Black Forest. Witch plus Sangan next turn is lethal. Blade Warrior is annoying. We already lost our 1900 meters. No, we still have something. We still have Spear Dragon. Spear Dragon, suicide into Slate Warrior. Clears the board. Darkfire Soldier for follow-up. They're still at one card. There's no point of setting Magician of Faith. I mean, this is literally our only play. Again, hopefully they brick on their next turn. And we can just Darkfire Soldier to win. That could be anything. I can hope that it's a Mask of Weakness and it doesn't actually destroy us. Unfortunately, this is the wrong nobleman. Is it Mirror Force? Okay, it was nothing, I guess. Sword of Dragon Soul? This card can only be equipped to a warrior. Increased by 700. So it turns any warrior type monster into Buster Blader essentially. Could be useful. We could run like a warrior deck against Kaiba, which we will have to face eventually. Last game against Lumis and Umbra, since we already had that one win while they were ghouls. Hades, first time seeing this. Can't wait to try it out. We could just Harpy's brother here. We have 2 copies of it. Hopefully they don't have like Slate Warrior or Force Raider. A face down in a dark hole, that's annoying. Radius, 1200 beater. Well, we can beat over that, assuming the face down card doesn't screw us over. I really wish I knew which pack Dark Hole and Raigeki came from, and Monster Reborn. Those are 3 cards I would love to add to the collection. We could Heavy Storm here. 1-for-1 trade isn't great, but if that card keeps us from having board presence, it's more than worth it. It was a Ring of Destruction. Hopefully Harpy's brother here lasts for more than 1 turn. Next turn we could summon Sangan, and then the turn after we can tribute summon for Hades. Monster Reborn, what? They're gonna try to crash with it? They actually don't like crashing. I'm okay with this. If they tribute summon, we can always, Judgment. Mask of Brutality. Now this, we're gonna have to say no to. Nova Minnow Crossout is great. Yeah, let's just activate it. There's no reason not to. Mask of Darkness lets them recycle back trap cards. And is a mask card. We used to run that back when we had slim pickings. Crashing with Harpy's brother, attacking directly with Sangan, that opens up too many possibilities of them like attacking over it. I think we just go for the Hades play here. At least this keeps all future Flood monsters in check. We do know that they play Magician of Faith, as well as Slate Warrior. Slate Warrior does have the effect to negate, or to reduce the monster that destroyed it by 500. Pre-mat is annoying. It's just a Gradius, that's not terrible. I don't know why they're going into battle phase. So we can easily attack over that. We can even, Magician of Faith. Have we used up anything good? If they find a card to set, we could Heavy Storm. Our back row is barren. if they set a card, we could cross out, at least on our next turn. We are still dealing damage this turn, so it's not like it's a waste. The other option would have been to summon Sangan. Looks like we're going to grab back Heavy Storm. The link with Duo is great, but they keep playing cards. I don't think we have lethal here, but it's gonna be very close. Was that another Mask of Weakness or something? Mirror Force! Oh, that was an amazing trade. Yeah, this is just shy of 4,000, I believe. They do get a monster out. There's no reason to summon this, I'm just doing it because we know we won. We could attack with Lajin here. So yeah, they're unable to grab anything because Lajin is a fiend and Hades gives the negate effect to all fiend type monsters. It's gonna be really useful. We need more fiend type beaters. Again, I keep mistaking this Luster Dragon for the 19 beater Luster Dragon. Like, a second Exile Force is great. Return one face-up level 5 or higher Dragon-type monster on your side of the field to its owner's hand and destroy all spell and trap cards. So it's Heavy Storm with more steps. I mean, Dragon Tribal has always been decent. So is Warrior Tribal. But yeah, that's the 5 wins against Umbra and Lumis. Next episode, Strings. I'm hesitant to think that they would have given Strings the Egyptian God cards, but who knows, anything is possible. Until then, I'll see ya.